Hello, good afternoon. Adelina Uriarte from Passive, which is a consultancy for Passive House, and with Michelle Wasu from Energy House, we're going to give you a presentation about Hotel Arima representing Siber Ventilation. It's a four-star hotel in San Sebastian. It has 146 rooms and 40,000 square meters of built surface area. As I said, 146 rooms, the remote sea living. The design has been carried out by Fontan Laoth, and the design for Passive House and control was carried out between IM Architects and We Passive. Certification was carried out by Passive House. The ventilation system of the rooms is by Siber, and that is precisely what we're going to talk about. The energy reference surface for the PHPP of this building is practically 8,000 square meters, and it has nearly 12,000 meters or enveloping the outside, contacting the exterior. So we see that it has a complex geometry because the floors change. And as you can see in this plan, there is a lot of unevenness in the plot. You can see here some images of the hotel and the environment, which is a privileged one in Miramont Park. And in this other picture, you can also see how the geometry of the building is not easy to tackle, and therefore it complicated abiding by the standards. For mechanical ventilation, we have an installed recovery system for every 3 rooms vertically, and there is a CO2 sensor as well as a relative humidity sensor, which means that if one of the 3 rooms requires more ventilation, then the 3 are receiving a greater flow of ventilation, and we can therefore optimize the balance between installed equipment and maintain the quality of air in all the rooms. The machine used was Siber DXi3, certified by the Passive House Institute with a performance above 85% and a very low electric consumptions, which, as you know, are regular demands of the Passive House Institute for this purpose. It's important to see in the PHPP summary that the average expenditure for climate control per room, and if we add heating and cooling demands, it's approximately 14 kilowatts hour meter. And if we take into account the total reference area and considering COP3, because it is produced with air thermal energy and geothermal energy at a price of 15 cents per kilowatt, every year you spend 38 euros per room, and the CO2 emitted by these rooms is equivalent to 100 trees per room. So the hotel stops emitting CO2 for 1,000 buildings, and we can also ensure that the building is certified, and this is precisely what Michelle Wasu is going to talk about. Hello, good morning. I'm Michelle Wasu of the Building Energy House, and I'm going to talk about how important the airtightness of the system is important, because some people are not sure that to have a good controlled ventilation system with systems like the one used of Siber, you require a very airtight building, because with many infiltrations, what we were doing is reducing the performance of air recovery. Therefore, heat recovery and air tightness always go hand in hand. And it makes a lot of sense to control here these 2 concepts. And the added advantage that we have to remember of certification for the promoter would be to have a technician that is actually controlling and monitoring that execution has to be done in agreement with the project submitted. And we can see here an image of the gauging of the ventilation system, and to the left you see that we require to carry out a measurement as well as an adjustment of the ventilation system at the end to guarantee that the flows are actually in agreement with those stated in the project. And on the right-hand side, you can also see different trials that we've carried out, which is important in this framework, because you have to bear in mind the noise of systems like these, and that have to be within certain values established by Passive House, which are very, very strict, as you know, between 25 and 30 dBs.